In the last segment, I talked about all of the things that are happening around people. People have been displaced in Louisiana, still trying to recover from the hurricane, not knowing what the future is going to hold. Parents that have kids in school are trying to figure out, should they continue to virtual learn? Should I put them in the classroom? Just all sorts of balls in the air. And I want to know, for people who may say, you know what, I don't necessarily have a relationship with any deity. Can this work for me? What do you say to those people?
The answer is absolutely yes. Now, it can't work, obviously, unless you actually do the practice.
Right.
And when you do the practice, let's say you're not a big believer, okay? As you do the practice and you start slowing down all the inner negative dialogue, and you start feeling calm, and you start eventually feeling a sense of peace, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, where does this originate, this peace? It certainly doesn't originate from me.
Right.
And when you answer that question to yourself, then you start to realize that there truly is. Now, you may not say it's God. You may say it's a higher power, or you may say it's a life force. No matter what words you use for it, you know that there's something beyond you working through you when you become still inside. See, the practice of presence, here's the real gift. It answers three very important questions that have an enormous effect on our inner well-being. And the first question is, do I know why I'm at peace? And it answers that. And the second question is, do I know why I am not at peace? And it answers that. And the third question, most important, if I am not at peace, do I know how to come back to peace? And by answering those three questions, that frees us from the inside. That empowers us to know that we are taking responsibility for our inner well-being through the peace and the power of the present moment, which is God's spiritual energy. But what people make the mistake sometimes when they meditate, practice presence, is that they do it intermittently. And unfortunately, doing it intermittently doesn't inner condition us. Because if we practice presence in the morning and then only take 3 conscious breaths once or twice a day, the problem is we build up all that negative energy within us, makes it much more difficult to get back to the present moment. And sometimes people will say, well, I don't have time, I'm too busy. No, that's not really true. Because who doesn't have time to breathe? You can take 3 conscious breaths. As I'm talking to you, you could be taking them.
Right.
When we're driving, when we're working, when we're with people, when we're alone, it doesn't matter. But when we do it consistently, the motivation to continue is the unmistakable difference of what we experience inside when we stop all that negative dialogue, which is completely out of reality. Reality is this moment. And in this moment, we do not create fear and anxiety and worry.